8 teams remain, and the road to the Women's College World Series ends here in Oklahoma City. Untitled Chapter for NCAA Digital here at the Hall of Fame Stadium. We've had a year off, but the Women's College World Series is back. We have a full capacity stadium, so many star-studded athletes, and 2 unseeded teams. Let's preview the highly anticipated Women's College World Series. Starting with our first matchup, Oklahoma versus the underdogs, James Madison. The Dukes are in the Women's College World Series for the first time in program history. And on top of that, Georgia and JMU making it marks the first time an unseeded team made it to OKC since 2012. The story here has been and still is Odyssey Alexander in the circle, a fan favorite that has willed her team to this point. They do not think of themselves as the underdogs. The Dukes were previously on a 28-game win streak until the Supers had knocked off number 8 Missouri behind a 12-hit performance. But who do they have first? Oklahoma, the number 1 team in the country with one of the most dangerous offenses to ever exist in softball, top to bottom. Jocelyn Allo went off against Washington, and Gabby Plain in the Supers. She was bound to have a breakout performance, and we got it. In the final game, Allo went 3 for 3 with a homer, 3 RBIs, and 1 walk. Tiare Jennings, the National Freshman of the Year and nation's leading run producer, has been consistent all tournament and season long. So the question is, can Alexander, or any pitcher really, find a way to contain this OU offense? OU could potentially rematch with Georgia or Oklahoma State, who will be facing off in Game 2. I love this matchup. Former Bulldogs Allison Febri and Jordan Doggett will be suited up in orange for OK State and facing their former team for the first time. And a pitcher's duel between Carrie Eberly and Mary Wilson Avant. Bulldogs knocked off number 4 Florida in a series sweep behind 2 Avant shutouts. Sydney Kuma has been stepping up big. She had the game-breaking home run, and these Georgia bats have been hot, providing great run support for Mary Wilson Avant. The Cowgirls, though, have it all and have shown they can beat anyone. They will have a ton of fans in the crowd. Febri and Haley Busby have been raking, and Eberly in the circle is hard to beat. We know that. Next, an Alabama versus Arizona matchup. Another case of some really powerful hitters and a really strong Alabama pitching staff with Montana Fouts and Lexi Kilfoyle. But this Arizona team is not one I would want to be facing in the tournament as any of the top seeds. The amount of experience and talent they have in their lineup is incredible. Can Mike Candrea make a run on the 30th anniversary of his first Wildcats title? This offense has found its groove at the right time, hitting .365 in NCAA tournament play with 11 homers. And then all they need to do is let their experience shine through on this big stage with players like Deja Mulapola, Jessie Harper, and Alyssa Palomino Cardoza. You name it. The Crimson Tide is another powerhouse softball program, and you know a pitcher like Fouts can lead this team to a title. The Tide are on an 18-game win streak, and I am so interested to see this pitching staff against an Arizona offense. With a win, they'd play the winner of UCLA versus Florida State. And how cool would a matchup between Rachel Garcia and Montana Fouts be? UCLA facing the Seminoles in Game 4 of the series. Garcia just struck out 13 in a 2-hit shutout over Virginia Tech to clinch a spot in the Women's College World Series. So yes, we have the potential of a 2019 National Championship rematch between the Bruins and the number 1 seeded Sooners. The Bruins, a team that has certainly been here before, 2 Olympians on the roster, since we have the possibility of Bubba Nichols returning after being injured this season. These bats will need to get going in the Women's College World Series. Players like Aaliyah Jordan, Brianna Perez, Maya Brady, and of course, Garcia. FSU is back in the Women's College World Series for the first time since they won the national championship in 2018. They have UCLA up first, an enormous task. This FSU offense has been balanced with performance top to bottom. Elizabeth Mason was key in taking down LSU with 2 RBIs and the solo bomb. Another underdog, but one familiar to the scene in OKC. We have a great World Series coming up. We will have live coverage for you the rest of the way on NCAA.com and NCAA Softball Social.